Hello, everyone. This is Will.
This is Alex.
Welcome back to another episode of They Mostly Come Out at Night.
Mostly.
All right, before we get into it, please go to wherever you listen to podcasts, go to YouTube, type in They Mostly Come Out at Night.
Go to all your web zones.
All your web zones. Like, comment, subscribe. Really helps out the podcast. We really appreciate all you guys. Send us more recommendations. We don't like watching them, but we will.
I mean, we might.
There are some that legitimately can be good.
Look, I mean, we could at one point get a recommendation that we actually end up enjoying.
It could happen
quite a bit. I'm not saying it's impossible. So
it could happen, but
whatever you got,
I don't know.
Give it to us. We appreciate it all.
Yeah, so we appreciate you. We appreciate you listening, if wherever you're listening from, and thanks for just joining us in this journey and our little reviews here.
Yeah, our life journey.
Yep.
Of nonsense.
Speaking of life journey and just loving movies, we have a really good cap on 1984, and you might be surprised because you might maybe think this doesn't deserve to be on a podcast about reviewing bad horror and action movies.
Yeah.
And
it's fine because before I watched this movie on this podcast, my significant other was like, "What movie are you watching?" And I said the movie, and they're like, "That's not a bad movie." And I laughed because I was like, "Well, number one, I never expected you to even like this movie when I first fucking showed it to you, and number two, a lot of people, critics and stuff, hated all of these films, so they fit the criteria. I am so sorry, they fit it."
Now, review-wise, yes. Critic review-wise. Audience review-wise, totally different.
Obviously, the audience doesn't matter because these movies made a lot of money.
Yes.
And they were massive hits.
This is a very famous franchise. Little-known film franchise. You might have heard of it. We watched your boy, Jason, fuck shit up in Friday the 13th, the final chapter.
One of the best.
Dude, the best to do it. He's I swear to God, he's fucking goated. I know people have the internal debate on who's the best serial killer. I'm sorry. I just think, in my opinion, and again, this is just my opinion, you don't have to agree with it, Jason is literally the best slasher franchise ever.
It's
I love Friday the 13th. I love Nightmare on Elm Street. I love some of the Halloween movies. I can't say I love that franchise, but I do love some of them.
Yeah, I like the theory of it.
Yeah. I liked what they were trying to go for. Mm-hmm. But Jason and Friday the 13th is the best to do it. I think it's
classic.
It's just such a good franchise. There's no I even like the shitty ones.
Same. I don't give a shit.
I even
I'm a fucking degenerate. I don't give a shit. So
Comes Back from Hell is great. Fucking
Jason X.
I'm saying that title wrong. I always get it fucked up.
Jason Goes to Hell.
Jason Goes to Hell. Yeah. And then Jason X is fucking awesome. I'm sorry. They're just great.
Yeah. These are. I don't know. There's just something classic. It's classic.
Wouldn't it be funny if we were that being said, the final chapter fucking sucks?
Yeah, that being said, the one that's because people have their debates, right?
That's not what we're saying, but
no, the one that's everyone says is one of the best ones. Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, it's the worst one. Fuck this movie, it sucks.
It's a total waste of an hour and a half.
No, it's fucking awesome. It's great. And I don't even know if this needs to be said because people who have listened to this podcast have probably watched this movie. It's very accessible. It's easy to get.
Oh God, it's so accessible.
It's easy to get into this franchise. This is going to be a total gusher because we're just going to be talking about our love for Friday the 13th and this movie in general.
For example, there are people who, when this movie came out, literally said it was an immoral and reprehensible piece of trash.
In the best way possible.
I personally don't get what it is about these movies.
It's not trash.
No.
I would never say trash.
I personally don't get what it is about these movies that fucking just drives people so insane.
Well, but and again, this is gonna be a weird episode because it's literally just we're having an internal debate on why people hate slasher movies.
Yeah, because like I mean, everyone knows we love slashers, and like obviously there's different levels. But for me, like this is I just don't understand what is so like.
I don't get the hate for the franchise in general. Like,
Yeah,
it's really not that bad. Like, if you compare it, like, say you compare it to something like Saw, like the Saw franchise,
Yeah.
right?
That's fair.
Like, that goes to levels that, like, Friday the 13th would never go to. And, like, they're more critically, like, acclaimed than the Friday the 13th
Yes.
movies, which is kind of weird.
which is weird to think about.
It is weird because they're more, like, they're more hyper violent than anything in the Friday the 13th franchise, but they're a different kind of horror movie.
The
Like,
one thing that
people
this-
like their gore porn. I'm not a huge fan of it, but
The one thing though that this franchise does have that say Saw doesn't, and I do mean it doesn't. Like I don't remember Saw having any of this. Is the Friday the 13th franchise is loaded with sex.
well, I also wonder if it's
Which,
like a thing where
Adds to the rustled jimmies
because also Saw is like going after people that like
are supposed to be bad.
they're bad people
They've done
and
bad
like
things.
and like
Supposedly.
Saw's being their judge, jury, and executioner.
Yeah.
Basically like testing them to see if they can change their life.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like some moral thing to it. Like Jason is just a fucking killing machine.
He just kills people.
He just literally doesn't care about anyone and just fucking lives to murder people.
Yeah, it's just each movie is just a new cast of like, attractive young people that get murdered.
And I wonder if that's the difference. Like there's like that moral question.
You know what it is? It's the lizard brain.
Well, for us, that's why we enjoy it. But I'm saying for like the general public, like or like critics, I wonder if there's like, oh, like there's a moral reason that Jigsaw is killing people. So like it's better than slasher movies because
My opinion is if you're watching these movies trying to get some sort of moral take, you need to touch grass. Like if you're watching Friday the 13th and you're trying to read some sort of morality into it, I please touch grass. Like this is not it. I don't get the point of it. Like why would you?
Well, I don't get the point of reading into a slasher movie.
Because another thing is like I know for a fact if you watch that big like documentary they made, Crystal Lake Memories, like they asked the creators of all these movies, like, what do you think about people saying that like, you're doing this and like you're pushing this moral message, and everyone's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
well,
no one was trying to push any sort of moral messages in these movies. Like we're all just making fun slasher movies. No one cares.
well, and it's
stupid.
It's people coming together. You get the effects department that loves like creating these like creative kills, which also like the effects department in this like just went like fucking hog wild.
Yeah,
The two scenes where like the girls get thrown out the fucking windows,
great stunts.
like the one where she like slams into the station wagon and
it's just
like
all the windows.
they like set off the explosives in the windows as she hits the car and then rolls off.
then it leaves like a dent. Yeah,
And the other one where she like somersaults off the top balcony and
all
then,
in one take.
and
Yeah,
then lands on the ground. It's just it's so good. And like when Jason gets his like hand like slit in half, and then him like sliding down the fucking machete at the end of the movie.
and that's obviously another thing is because this was made by like a major studio, so you have the benefit of
Like a budget.
budget and like money and care. Even though, I mean, people say like, oh, those that they like they loved these franchises because they made money, but they pretended not to because.
And sorry if you haven't seen it. I don't mean to like. I mean it's from 1984. By this point, like we shouldn't
I
have to
assume
give
if
like
you
any
listen to this
spoiler.
podcast,
You
you've
probably
seen
watch
this
these
movie.
You probably watch these types of movies. I guarantee it. Like I don't think.
Like this is one of the most popular horror films.
And
of
we're not
84, so.
shy about the fact that we love slasher movies. So I would assume most of our listeners also love the slasher movies. I could be wrong. You could have your own opinions on them.
And that's fine.
But basically, for if you don't know, this is the final. This is like the culmination of all the other Friday the 13th movies thus far.
Yes.
And basically, what they did is Jason comes back after the
third film.
the third film, and just fuck shit up. Like
Yes.
he just again he's just a mindless murdering machine. So he comes back to life and just decides to fuck everyone up.
Yep. You got your new cast of horny, attractive people that are going to die.
They're on vacation in the woods near Camp Crystal Lake.
Mm-hmm.
It's like on the other side of the lake, and there's like another family. You get like a young Corey Feldman, and all the other characters in here, and like it's just fodder.
Yeah.
Like listen, you watch slasher movies, it's just fodder. There's like a final girl, and that's it.
Yeah.
A final girl, and in this case, a final child.
I was gonna say this does technically.
At least it kind of breaks the rule a little bit.
This does switch that up.
But it's good. I mean, it's good. So that's basically what happens. It's just like a bunch of the fodder come to vacation near Camp Crystal Lake. Fuck, shit gets fucked up.
Homeboy comes back.
Yeah, he comes back from the morgue because in the last one he got an axe to the face. In the third one, if you don't remember that, that's kind of what happens at the end because she puts an axe in his face and then he like still comes at her, but then collapses.
And then the beginning of this. Well, first of all, the beginning of this is lit because it's just like the beginning of this is the campfire tale from 2, where he talks about Jason, and it's just like that scene, but they like cut in like
it's like the best of murder scenes from the other. Well, not even that, like because like they show
that famous jump scare from part 1.
Yeah, they show
the mother getting beheaded.
Yeah. Mrs. Voorhees. They show the murder where the guy gets murdered in the wheelchair and then rolls down the
longest flight of stairs on the planet. Yeah, it's like the most savage fucking scene in the second film. Yeah. There's the awesome scene in the third one where he shoots the arrow and it like goes directly at the camera. Mm-hmm. There's the guy who's doing the fucking handstand and gets just split down the middle. You just get everything. And then the mask comes up on the screen with Friday the 13th on it. And then the final chapter just runs up behind
it. Into it.
Blows it up.
Dude, when I first watched that, I was like, this movie is going to be so fucking hype.
Because they did build that up like, this is it. This is it, baby.
I mean, it's not. But, you know,
thankfully
it's fine. Because there was a lot more after this, but...
Praise the Lord, honestly.
Yeah, because, I mean, this is the 4th one in 10 of them? So, was there 10? Let me see.
If you count Freddy vs. Jason and the remakequel, there's 12.
Oh, okay. That's
Jason
true.
X was the 10th, but then after that, you get Freddy vs. Jason and the...
I try not to include the
remake. We'll get there. I'm also not
fascinating. I'm not ready for that one.
Yeah, it's not. It does not spark joy for me.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, we don't have to go over the movie. I don't know how to review this because a lot of people have seen it. Like
it's hard to review it because it's just like I just adore this film.
I've seen it so many times. Like I guess we could review it, but like. Do you need a recap of the final the 4th Friday the 13th movie? I mean, it's literally just people come on vacation.
We can just talk about the things we like.
Yeah.
We can talk about the things we like.
I really appreciate... I think my biggest, like, the funnest thing for me in this are, like, the unique death scenes and, like, the effects. I think that's, like...
I'd add another thing to it. The fun characters.
Yeah. And the characters, like, literally it's just a bunch of horny college students.
Even the people at the morgue.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, it's just very, very colorful cast of characters.
I do kind of, like, appreciate in these slasher movies, like, it's kind of funny because you'll notice a trend, at least I have, where they make the characters, like, some of them are, like, innocent and, like, they're sweet and everything.
They still get it, though.
But most of them, yeah, they get it. But, like, most of them are, like, just degenerates, fucking horn dogs.
That's great.
Annoying-ass teenagers. Just, like, everyone in society that you're just, like, you have those, like, you know, intrusive thoughts of, like, oh, man, like, I wish they would get, like, comeuppance or something like that, you know. Yeah, obviously you don't wish death upon people, but, like... You have those intrusive thoughts where you're just like, I wonder if that's the kind of people they kill on screen in these movies.
Yeah, and it's great. It's a
Because
lot of fun.
I think they do that on purpose, like make most of the characters like not like annoying to the point where you don't want to watch them, but like
Yeah, because there's a fine line, because there are movies, especially like recent horror movies, where the characters are just fucking annoying, and it's just not fun to watch.
I can think of a few that like people love, and I'm just like, ugh.
It just becomes annoying, and the movie's not fun to watch anymore.
I think that's a problem with like a lot of these slasher movies, the newer ones. They try and make the characters like really relatable, and like a lot of them aren't. Like the only ones that are annoying like die really quickly, and then you get these like morally like high ground people in the movies.
Well, the thing is, like, ideally, in your older slasher films, your morally grounded character would be your final girl or whatever. And,
which in this case is the daughter of the woman that lives in the woods.
But it's funny because they also they almost set it up so you might have another one in the group. But then
she
gets it.
But yeah, I love the effects in this. Like I said, Jason sliding down the blade, the women falling out of the fucking the women falling out of the house. The
corkscrew.
The corkscrew, the fucking like harpoon to the fucking
crotch,
the woman dying in the fucking pond, just like it's all cool, and I love
the guy
how
getting
like,
his head crushed.
That was fucking it's all awesome. Like they were just going ham, and they even like made the kids' room like this mask department, which I'm sure is a bunch of the effects artists like personal work they just threw in that room.
Yeah, because little Corey Feldman's character is like he's kind of a geek, and he plays like games all the time, but he's into like effects work and stuff. So his room is just full of like masks and puppets, which comes into play. But yeah, there's just I'm trying to think. I don't even know what my favorite kill in this is.
I think my favorite kill is either the head crush or because I mean just awesome, like seeing Jason's hand like crushing this like fake skull against tile, like
yeah, it's classic. That one, I don't know, for me it's either that one or the woman, one of the twins flying out the window and landing on the car.
That one's lit too. Like the way they set that up and the way they executed it looks so cool on screen.
They love breaking their fucking glass in this movie.
Yes.
But yeah, that scene's fantastic. Man, I don't know. It's hard because like obviously I love all the fucking kills in this. I mean, hell, even the first one, where the guy
where he gets a hacksaw to the fucking neck, and then
this head gets twisted around.
Twists his head around.
The dude just wants to watch his weird like sex yoga video.
Well, he didn't get laid, so
he didn't get laid because listen, he tried to have sex in the fucking dead room.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do when you're a dickhead, okay?
Look, that's fine. That's the whole film.
Yeah, that's the whole premise of the film.
Is people trying to get laid, and even those who do get laid and get their rocks off, unfortunately, it's over. You think everything's gonna be fine because you got your rocks off. Even little Crispin Glover.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite bits in the whole movie is actually the back and forth between him and his friend.
Oh yeah, they do it for like half the movie until they die.
Until
because they're going back and forth of who's gonna get laid and why Crispin Glover's character can't get laid.
Because he's a dead fuck.
He's a dead fuck.
That's my favorite line because they're driving to the cabin, and he's like, "You broke up with BJ Betty," and he's just like all depressed because he broke up, and like
I love the friend's little gimmick of like looking up on a computer.
Yeah, he's like, "Let me plug your problem into my computer."
Why he has a problem?
Let me plug your problem into my computer.
Oh my god!
And he's like, "It says you're a dead fuck."
I love the payoff of that though, because when Crispin Glover's like character gets laid and the other guy doesn't, he's all like pissed off. And like how the girls like want nothing to do with the friend that's like giving him shit. But they want everything to do with everyone else in the fucking movie.
I know.
And this guy's just like a fucking loser that's like...
He's just like, eventually resorts to just like smoking a joint and watching like old old smut films.
Well, and of course he's a dick too, because he
Yeah.
calls like even like slightly overweight women like piggies and shit
Yeah.
like that. Like he's such a rude. I fucking love when he dies.
But it's just like it's such a like that, like little things like that, little touches like that.
Well, I love how like every character has their own personality.
Yeah.
Like there's not any characters that have like this so similar of a personality that they kind of get lost in the sauce kind of thing. Because I hate that when like characters are like the same personality for every single character. It just kind of gets lost. You're just
Well,
like,
you
I
have,
don't
like-
care about any of these people.
It's like you have a little bit of you still have a little bit of character stuff going on.
Yeah, you don't need like huge character development.
It's only an hour and a half.
You just need to briefly know
Yeah.
how these people would act in a certain situation. And then once you get a feel for that, they die. So it's
Yep.
like, okay, cool. That's
Yeah,
fine.
so you have the two friends, and then there's kind of the bad girl, and she's like kind of fighting with her boyfriend, and then there's the good girl, and she has a wholesome little thing going on with this other
And
guy.
she
and,
falls in love with the guy she
and
slept with.
Yeah, she falls in love with him, and
And
he
he
also
can't-
maybe falls in love. And
Yeah.
they all get it. They all fucking get it. There's like two twins that show up and just kind of drive. They're just horny and
Drive a wedge in between the whole friend group, basically.
and it's like little things like that, because it's like obviously the kills are fun, like that's all fun,
But you have to make the rest of the movie entertaining.
but the movie, you can't just be sitting here like bored out of your mind, like, okay, where's the kills? Like there's still entertaining things happening.
I also think slasher movies would get a little boring if all it was just endless killing, like for like an hour and a half. Like I think I'd get bored of that.
Yeah, because you have to.
So you need something in between it to like keep the movie going, right?
Yeah, you need something to actually.
It's not just you can just go online and watch a montage of like Jason kills, But
Yeah,
like in the movie, you need like at least somewhat of a story to kind of drive the plot along.
You need something to latch onto.
I also really appreciate. I know a lot of people don't talk about this in slasher movies. The pacing in this is pretty good too. Like pacing is a huge thing, even in slasher movies.
Even in a movie that's only an hour and a half long.
And like they don't take too much time, but they take just enough time in between like some of the kills where you can get kind of like you said, that character development. You can like kind of like be with the characters for a moment before they start like dying.
Yeah.
So you get kind of a feel for them, everything like that. Because like that's to me that's good pacing where it's like a couple kills in the beginning. Like, you don't really care about those characters.
The first two, yeah.
You don't really,
first two
like,
in the
get to
morgue.
know them at all. Like, it doesn't matter. And then you kind of have, like, a lull because you
Even
need
then,
to...
you kind of do. You kind of do get to know them just a little.
Yeah.
Because, you still get, like, that dynamic that it's, like, two people who, they're at work and they fuck, and, the guy's kind of a fucking degenerate. And she puts up with it until she doesn't. It's like, even then, you get a teeny bit of something.
Yeah, like, the pacing is good. Like, the effects are good. Like, I just love this movie. It's such a good movie. It's one of my favorites of the franchise.
Yeah, I mean, this one is... I don't know. It's like, if you asked me to just... Like, if someone was like, hey, I, like... recommend, like, just a classic slasher that has all the tropes. It's got all of them. This is one. This is probably, like...
Oh, absolutely. Like, if you're looking for just, like, quintessential slasher...
that has all the things that people who talk about slashers mention.
I mean, don't stop here.
Please
Obviously, watch the whole franchise, but like, if you did just watch the first 4 Friday the 13th, I think you'd be satisfied.
Yeah.
But you could have. Why not have more?
Have more, because
It's
personally... I mean, listen, my favorite personally is the 6th one, so we'll get to that.
I do.
Which
love
is crazy, because it's like, man, it's the 6th movie in a franchise, and that's your favorite? Yes. Yes, it is.
It's. I don't know. Like, my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street is the 3rd one.
That's, yeah.
And
I
like
mean,
a lot
listen,
of people don't talk about that one.
I mean, for me, Nightmare on Elm Street, it's probably 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's like really the 3rd and 4th in the franchise. Yes.
It's because Dream Warriors is lit.
I mean, I cannot resist a good Dawkins song, Will.
Well, that on top of like, it's just a really fucking entertaining movie.
It's an incredible bit of filmmaking.
Which is, it's just fucking they go fucking buck wild with that movie. But anyway, that's a different franchise, so we're not talking about Nightmare on Elm Street. We'll get to those because
We'll get to those shortly, by the way.
yeah, because those are those are like the same thing. Critics fucking hated those movies.
Except for the first one, which is why that one's not going to be on the podcast.
Yeah, we won't watch that one, but we'll watch every single other one.
Because, the first one, for whatever reason, is acceptable by the fart sniffers. But
Yes.
the rest of them,
It's okay. Just don't. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know what else to say about it. Like, it's just a really good Friday the 13th movie. It's awesome. The kills are great. The pacing's good. The plot is there. I mean, it's a slasher movie. You don't need a plot. You barely need a plot. But like, it's just a really great movie. If you haven't seen it, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Go watch it.
Yeah, go watch
the first 4. Like, go watch the first one.
No, go watch all of them.
Yeah, go watch. Yeah, literally watch all 11. I'm borrowing one of them.
Like, just watch all.
I mean, listen, I don't know. Like, I'm probably in the minority that likes Goes to Hell and Jason X, but
yeah, I mean,
I really do.
There's only like 1 or 2 that I don't like. So I mean, and honestly, for a franchise that has that many movies, like that's not a bad batting average, so to speak.
But do you have any? I mean, I don't know what else to add. Like, if you haven't seen it, just go watch it. We don't need to recap the movie.
I'm thinking.
Like, I don't know if did you say your favorite part of because I said the effects and like the pacing.
I pretty much agree with you and just said that. Yeah, I added on the characters.
Yes.
I'm trying to think because there's just
I like it's just
I could gush about this movie for hours on end. So
right, it's just like a classic bit of like 80s slasher gold. Like,
I love the song that our dude dances to.
Yeah, well, because it's the fucking people who did the Transformers movie theme song.
The song is "Love Is a Lie" by Lion.
Lion is lit. I really like Lion.
Because I am that person that knows my fucking hair metal. So, just saying.
Well, the problem is we're big 80s fans, if you didn't realize this by now. So we love we love the music.
We are
the aesthetic, the movies.
We are hair metal fans.
Yeah.
Hair metal and slashers. I mean, oh boy.
They just go like hand in hand, really.
Yeah.
If you think about it, like, why do you think Dawkins did the fucking theme song?
Because the people who made
Nightmare
that
on
movie
Elm Street 3
knew what was good, what was right in the world. God damn it!
I don't know. They just like fit together like a hand in glove. It's just perfect.
The other thing I also like is because the movie also introduces a character who's like his sister was killed by Jason, so now he's in the woods hunting Jason, and it's just so fitting that when they finally come head to head, it is just a total massacre.
Yeah, it's a total shit show. He like fails like completely.
It's a total massacre.
Well, because like it's funny in these movies when they make characters that think they can go up against like Jason, because this is like a supernatural like.
Because it's almost like they set up like. Almost, if you watch the movie for the first time, you might think, "Oh, is this going to be like our final person?"
No,
'cause they have like the personal connection and they're like prepared. And then the movie's like, "Nope."
No, they're like, "Get fucked." Like, this is what happens when you fuck around with Jason.
It's over.
Yeah, it's done,
and that's done for.
Yeah,
and then, yeah,
I do love the scene. Again, speaking of effects. The scene where she's running out of the house and, like, he has, like, the bodies all, like, nailed up on the walls and shit. And then she, like, runs out of the house and he just, like, goes and rips one of them down.
Yeah, because she ends up jumping out of the window and he's just, like, walks through the door, just rips it down. There's also the other part where they're, like, they're, like, boarding, they're, like, locking all the windows and, hammering down the doors. And then Jason just tosses the body of the guy.
He throws our hero in through the window.
And then he just... fucking like bust through the door.
I just love how they didn't have to do that because like Jason could have just walked through the window that he just broke.
No,
but no, they had to show him busting down that fucking door too.
Yep, had to do it. And then there's a part where they're like locked in the kids' room, and Jason's like doing his best Jack Nicholson in The Shining through the door. And then he's like unlocking, and she takes like the kid's TV and just
smashes
it into him.
Yeah, it's just a fucking lit. Like, it's so fucking good. This whole franchise is good, but the fourth one, this one is really good.
It hits every single trope and every sweet spot.
If you have a lizard brain like us, you'll really enjoy it if you haven't seen it. But I would suggest to get the full effect, watch the first three first.
I mean, yeah, because honestly, I mean it's basically set all like continuously.
Because it's like it all reaches ahead in this one.
Yes.
And it's important because you can get a lot more hyped for it.
And you get like all of the deaths and
it's just good.
All the nonsense that preceded it.
Like it's not like an unknown movie, so I don't know if we really need to break it down. Is my only thing.
No, unless there's something you think people don't talk about enough, I guess.
In this movie?
Because I already mentioned, like, I mean, people who talk about these movies never talk about, like, the characters and shit. Because, honestly, that's what really makes... I mean, really, if the movie didn't have, like, solid characters and shit, I don't think you would really have people rewatching these.
Well, I also think people don't talk about maybe, like, getting people, the fans of this franchise, excited. Because this one really does a good job at that. Like, it hypes you up in the beginning with, like, this campfire story and all, like, a montage of the deaths and everything. They know why people are watching this movie. Mm-hmm. This was, like, definite, like, fan service, I would say. And that's what I really, like, appreciate about, like, the Friday the 13th movies or any of these horror franchises. They really appreciate their fans. Mm-hmm. And they make movies for the people who love these movies. So there's, like, a lot of craft and dedication that goes into, like, getting you pumped for this fucking slasher movie that you're about to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're getting that scene, that beginning scene gets me so jacked for the fucking rest of the movie that I'm just like, hell yeah, let's fucking go.
You did, there's no logical reason to open your movie like that.
No, but they
did.
But, well, because it's fan service.
And it just sets you up.
That's all it is. It's literal fan service. So I think people don't talk about that enough, where this is, like, catered for the fans of the franchise.
Yeah, for us lizard brains.
Like, they knew the critics were going to fucking lambaste this, but they knew they had a solid fan base to create this movie and get you, like, excited for a slasher movie.
They knew they'd release this, and they would still have tons of people paying money to see it.
Which is why they also have, like, the fucking bamboozle at the end. Of course they did. Because even though it's the final chapter, you still have to fucking have a zinger at the end of it.
It's like they almost, like, they almost imply that, is Tommy gonna, like, grow up to be fucked up? Like, what's gonna happen? Which, I mean, we'll get to that. But it's just funny because, like, they technically did call it the final chapter and they're, like, ending it, but they just couldn't leave it alone. And they're like, just in case.
Well, because they knew people would be like, oh, yeah, they have the fucking, like, bamboozle.
Just in case. We'll bring it back.
Well, because this franchise made a fuckload of money, so.
Yeah, it made them a lot of money, and these movies cost relatively little because there's no, like, big names, big actors in them. So it's like all the money is just going to mostly, I would imagine, just, like, set pieces and effect work.
So I do have to shout out the fan service. I do have to shout out, like, how catered this was for fans of this franchise. Because I appreciate that a lot, where they want to get you excited for this movie. Of course they do. I mean, they want to make money, obviously, but, like, what I'm saying is, like, they do a good job at it too. It's not just, like, fan service for the sake of, like, oh, like, whatever, like, but it's also a good movie if you just watch it by itself, so I can appreciate that too.
Because that's another thing, is, like, you could watch this not having seen,
but, like,
any of the other ones.
The thing I guess I'm trying to get at is, if you have watched the other three by this point, and you watch the fourth one, you are so fucking like, again, when I marathon this franchise, I get so hyped for the beginning of this movie because I'm just like, oh, hell yeah, I've watched these, like, other three. I am so excited to see what the fuck is going to happen in this
I get
one.
even more hyped because, you know, when you marathon these, which I've done many times like a total degenerate, you just know this isn't the last one.
Well, yeah, I know. It continues from here. Like, it doesn't end the franchise.
And it's like, as soon as the credits roll to this one, you're just like, well,
all right,
there's more left.
Pop in the fifth one.
Pop in the fifth one. Let's go. And Yes, I do like the fifth one. Sue me.
I do too. I know that's a very unpopular opinion, but I like it.
We'll get to it. Because like I said, there's really only two in this franchise that I don't like. But we'll get to them. And
Yeah.
it's just, I'm just thinking, is there anything else that needs to be said about this movie?
I don't know. Like, I know this is a weird episode, but like,
It's Friday the 13th.
it's Friday the 13th. Like, if you haven't seen it and you're listening to this podcast, what are you doing?
Yeah. Because with this movie especially, I don't need to defend it because people who are into these movies do like this movie.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's no need for me to defend it. I mean, we already defended it against the usual, nonsense of it was morally bad, like whatever.
it doesn't.
Don't
Who cares?
care. I don't care. It's Jason killing horny people.
That's it. That's all you need.
I don't give a shit.
Literally all you need. I don't get why.
What is so offensive?
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing. Not a goddamn thing.
There's even no need for a fucking shitty to pretty. We've like literally spent this, and we spent now 35 minutes talking about how much we love this movie. I think you can pretty well guess what the rating is going to be.
Oh, is it
It's a 1.
Yeah.
It's a 1.
Worst movie ever.
Don't recommend. Would not watch.
It's badly made.
I hate it.
Bad, horrible music.
Terrible effects.
It's unwatchable.
No, it's a fucking 10. It's a 10 out of 10. And like that's just like, I'm glad we were able to watch this episode because like we don't get a lot of like episodes of the podcast where we can just literally just talk about a movie for because we don't have to review it. Like
and that's the thing is like this is, I think this is the first movie we've had on this podcast where we've like watched it multiple times on our own, just in our life.
Well, you've seen Psycho 2.
Yeah, I'd seen Psycho 2 once.
So, I mean, there are movies we've watched, but not
movies
multiple.
We've watched, like, either one of us has watched at least once, but this is the first one, I think, where we've watched this movie on our own multiple times.
I think we both do the same thing. Like, literally, I think we marathon this franchise every single year.
Every October, I go through this and Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
I love slashers, and there's a lot of those movies, and it's like, with this, it's like the simple camp, cabins in the woods. It's got those vibes, and then Nightmare on Elm Street, you have the more fantastical kind of like fantastical, almost at some points, almost science fiction kind of stuff going on.
Yeah,
it's like I get both my beautiful ingredients into my beautiful cake. But yeah, it's a 10.
Dude, it's like, it's just so good. Like I think it's fair to not even put it in like our like worst of the worst, best of the best kind of thing, because it would probably win. So I'm not going to add it because I've seen it multiple times. I'm going off of movies that I haven't seen. So like I'm going to leave it like on that. So like going into our best of the best, this would probably win if I hadn't have seen it multiple times.
If I didn't have most of this movie already memorized,
have like such an adoration for this, because it's unfair to pit like all the movies that we did watch that were really good against this one,
against this monster.
Yeah. So
this kaiju of a film.
With that being said, let's get into our end of the year review here. Do we want to start with worst of the worst?
Yeah.
I think we both are in agreement on this one because
talk about this movie again.
Fuck this movie. Fuck this fucking goddamn piece of shit.
Black Devil Doll from Hell.
Dude, what the fuck? I know, so I can.
Please try to find the words, Will, because I'm just.
I can see, like very base level. It was kind of going for a blaxploitation movie.
Bold.
But in the worst possible ways ever. Like, it did not... It's so bad.
Okay, here's the thing. We watched... Let me pull it up. I'm just curious. Because this shows you the power of the film. Okay, this shows you. I'm just looking. How long has it been since we watched this pile of nonsense? I swear it's been 5 months since we watched this fucking thing, and this movie haunts me. Okay,
It does.
like there are, you know, I mentioned this a long time ago when we were just talking off the podcast. When we first started this podcast, I told Will that yes, we have the full power to turn off a movie if it's too bad. Okay, and we've never done that. We have never done that in our entire career, quote unquote, of this podcast.
I'm surprised we haven't, to be honest.
I'm not gonna. But the point in Black Devil Doll from Hell, when we get into our 15-second long fetish film of a puppet fucking a woman, I have never wanted to turn a movie off more on this entire podcast.
The urge was, I swear to God, my finger was like subconsciously on the power button. Like I wanted to die. Like,
yeah, I wanted to kill myself.
It is that like cringe inducing.
Because the whole movie was bad. I mean, it was boring, horribly
like,
filmed.
I wanted to crawl into a fucking hole and just never come out.
But when I got to see the Rick James doll with his bacon tongue licking her tits, my soul was on fire.
Oh, but nay, they do not stop there, because then it's like, you know, she's on this horny quest
for dick
to fuck the doll again, and it just gets even like, and then oh my God, dude, the fucking end scene where she's trying to have sex with a doll again, and it fucking kills her is like one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my entire fucking life.
You know what else? You know what else burned into my brain is the part where she goes to the club, right?
Oh, and they're all dancing to the wrong music.
And they're dancing to the lovely Casio keyboard music, and my favorite. It's like a 5-minute long dance scene. I'm not joking. And the guy who's dancing with her he has the most unemotional expression on his face, and he keeps doing like the same move where he just like gyrates his hips, claps his hands, and snaps his fingers.
Yeah.
And he just keeps like looking at her like blank. And I
know.
It hurts.
That movie
It's been 5 months.
I know. It's like most bad movies you just forget about, right? Like they just
forgettable.
Like, they just fly. They just go in through your fucking eyes and just go out the other way, and they're fine. They're gone.
But
right?
It's like you know it's worse to the worst when it's been 5 months,
and we still talk about it.
And I fucking that stupid fucking doll sex scene is still haunting me. Like it's like a bamboozle. Like it's one of those things that are like. It's like, oh, we just watched someone's fucking fetish movie.
The weird fucking, like, smoke breath or whatever that he fucking does.
I don't even know what the point of that was.
I don't either. And the fucking glowing eyes, and she fucking...
Well, the glowing eyes is like, you kill Zaps.
I know. That's, like, it's just so fucking dumb.
And then, remember the guy who's, like, selling things out of his trunk? And she goes to fuck him?
Yeah.
And she fucks him, and he's just like... Well, okay, I'm sorry I didn't do enough for you.
She just can't be satisfied.
Nothing will top the doll dick.
The doll dick. Dude, fuck that movie. And it's still gonna haunt us. Like
it's gonna, yeah, it's
I don't
endless.
think I'll ever get that fucking image out of my head.
I did not need that.
Dude, for all that is holy, do not fucking go watch that movie, because, like, I swear to God, it's like a curse.
No, go watch it.
It's like a fucking curse. It's like watching...
It's like watching the ring.
The tape in the ring. Like, but instead of Samara at the end, it's fucking the fucking Black Devil doll.
The Rick James doll.
It's just like, no,
not the bacon tongue.
no. Oh my God, dude! It is. It's the fucking. That is our film. Like the fucking that would be our cassette tape from the fucking Ring.
Oh God! If I ever wanted to bamboozle somebody, I would literally just send them. Because you can find that movie on the internet. I would just send them that fucking movie. And here you go, have fun.
Just send people that scene.
Have fun, fuckface. Oh God.
Okay.
Okay.
Best of the worst. Now we might have different ones.
What? Please.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
just because I've thought about this movie quite a bit, and it is fucking dumb, but like my
well,
god,
clearly it's.
but my god, the Lorelai's grasp. Like,
That's not. That's.
Oh, that's 1973. Duh. Fuck. Sorry. I'm sorry. That was a good recommendation, by the way, because that was fucking stupid as fuck. But like, it was fucking.
Lord.
So I think it has to go with Super Ninjas.
Okay, solid choice.
Because, dude, the elemental ninjas he's like, you must go fight them, and he's like, they're the elemental ninjas, and he's like, you have no chance. Just give up.
That's his sensei.
The fucking pig scene with the fucking was that a different movie? Furious, yeah. I'm getting them confused, but like I fucking love both of those movies. It was really hard. It was kind of a toss up between both of them, but the elemental ninjas, the fucking dude,
the insane fights,
dude, Super Ninjas. I fucking love that movie.
Oh, Super Ninjas is amazing, and the insane fights,
the insane like elemental fights where they're just doing like wild shit with the effects and like
like the dude swinging through the trees, the guy who he's like
guy
a shark in the
swims
water
under the water
with his katana as like the shark fin, the guy who like burrows into the ground. It's insane.
And I love that movie. Like it was a toss up between Furious and the Elemental.
Well, that's
Ninjas,
fitting.
but
Well,
Elemental is yours.
My best worst is Furious.
Yeah. Okay.
Because go home, Philip.
Go home. Go home.
Go home. I think that scene broke us because I don't know. It's like one of those movies you watch and like I don't even want to think about what the fuck they were thinking.
I honestly have I don't want to think about it too much, but there was like comedy elements, so I don't know if it was like it wasn't like
there's
hee-haw, though.
But it's like weird because the only thing that was like almost straight up comedy for me was when he's fighting the fucking guy and he uses like a mirror or something,
The pig thing,
and
right?
he turns into a pig.
Yeah.
And he starts spouting exposition and he starts talking about like fast food restaurants and shit. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
What the fuck was that?
The like corporations and
What
shit.
the fuck was that?
I don't know.
But yeah, he like
But come on, I mean, fucking
exposition pig.
Super Ninja had that scene where because I lost my shit when the fucking like sensei was like, "Oh, you're up against the elemental ninjas. Well, you're gonna die."
Yeah, you're dead.
Well, I'm sorry, you're gonna die. Like, I'll just give it straight up.
No, that's yeah, Furious and Super Ninja. I mean,
Those are those are the two like definite winners of best of the worst because
insanely entertaining
holy
bad
shit.
movies.
They're so bad, but they're so fucking like
golden,
just hilarious to watch. And I do apologize because I did not remember that the Lorelai's Grasp was 1973, so I apologize to whoever recommended that. That was some bullshit too, but it was hilarious to watch. It was so awkward. So honorable mention if it was in this year, but it's not. So now we get to best of the best.
Okay.
Am I going first?
Go ahead, sir.
This one is from 1984. I promise.
I believe you.
Razorback.
Motherfucker.
Did we agree again?
I thought I was going to be the one who was being unique by picking this movie. Fucking hell.
I love this movie.
No,
it's so good.
This is like, it's so good that it shouldn't even.
The like Mad Max aesthetic will always be entertaining to me.
Not just that. It's not just the Mad Max aesthetic. It's the fact that it's one of those movies that you watch and it's just like, there is not a single point in the movie that is just chill.
No, well, and
It's just like a sweaty, aggressive, like stressful, fucking hour and a half. Like it just like grabs you by the throat, and it's just like you are not gonna calm down. There's no moments of calm.
Well, also the fucking camera work. Like there is
God.
like the direction and the cinematography went like fucking buck wild in this fucking movie.
I think
it
I
is
mentioned
insane.
this. Yeah, I think I mentioned it on the episode. It is. I'm not saying this lightly. I do not say this lightly. It is one of the best looking horror films ever. And you will say, what are you talking about, Alex? I've never heard of this movie. I don't care.
Do yourself a favor if you've never heard of this movie and you're hearing this podcast. Go just look up the opening to Razorback.
It's on YouTube.
I guarantee you're gonna want to watch the rest of the movie.
It's funny because the opening on YouTube is in like it's in like standard definition, basic baby bitch standard definition, and it still is gorgeous. Like it's just like I said, one of the best looking horror films ever. And yeah, top it off with the fact that it's insanely entertaining. It's just endless. And I don't know, I'm a sucker for movies that just feel like relentless. I just love that. I don't know why.
Well, I just like I can appreciate like those horror movies that just like they don't give a fuck. There's some wild shit in Razorback that did not need to be in there. It's literally just about a giant fucking like Razorback boar that's gone crazy. But like there's like this Mad Max shit. There's a fucking like kangaroo processing plant that fucking like
pet food plant that's like fucked up. There's like all these like environmental themes that
weird,
are just
fucking like
sprinkled in.
Great batshit insane characters. Like just
deranged.
They didn't have to go that hard for like a creature feature, but it is one of the most unique creature features I have ever. And again, like you said, I don't say this lightly. This is one of the most unique horror movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, and that's the thing is we don't say any of that lightly. That's how good Razorback is.
I literally have watched it again.
It's criminal.
I love it.
How again, and this is the annoying thing because like I know it's because of like the fact that it's Australian and there's like copyright issues, so it's not widely seen. But my God, it's one of those movies that like you watch and you just think to yourself like, how in the world is this so overlooked?
I know it's criminal. It really is. Like,
and I mean, I'm sure part of it is because people look at it and it's like, giant killer pig in Australia, and they're like, oh, well, that sounds dumb.
But there's so much more to it than that.
But it's like, how are you gonna explain it? You can't explain it.
I can't even explain it with justice. There's so much more to the movie than just a giant pig
Hell, the movie
terrorizing people.
Switches main characters like 3 times.
Yeah.
Like that alone, because you have your first main character who's like the old man in the beginning. You think, okay, that's the main character. And then there's a female journalist who comes in and you're like, oh, is that the main character?
Nope.
Then she gets fucking wrecked. And then there's her husband who comes in and he's finally the main character. In most movies, that would be like madness.
Dude, it's fucking incredible.
But in that one, it's just, no, this is just how it is. And at no point does it like fall apart.
This is going to be a wild take, okay? So bear with me. I felt the same way when watching for the first time Razorback as I did the first time watching Jaws.
I mean, that's fitting because they are compared.
They are, but like I'm saying that like it is on par with that level of like craft, and I would honestly argue this might sound fucking.
I mean, I'll probably agree with you.
I actually liked it more than Jaws.
I mean, look, I love Jaws, but
I do love Jaws. Don't get me wrong. Like, it is a great movie. I'm not saying that it's not a good movie. Razorback is better.
Here's the thing. Here's where I agree with you on this. Because they're both similar and they're both creature features, but they aim higher. Yeah. They both aim higher than that. Like, Jaws is not just a movie about a killer shark. Razorback's not just a movie about a fucking killer pig. But, and I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I love Spielberg, but Razorback is a better looking movie. I'm so sorry.
Well, I mean, Spielberg's been like, honestly, like he's been interviewed about the shark and he hated the way it looked.
Which I get it, but
it actually enhanced the movie because they don't show the shark as much.
Yeah.
But like with Razorback, you don't see the boar as much.
No, but it's like Jaws in that you don't get like full views of it, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason for me that Razorback wins is because even in Razorback, when you're just watching a scene of people talking, it's like they are directing the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
That's what's insane about Razorback. The scenes of just people talking they use weird angles, and there's like crazy editing, and there's like always things going on in the background. Like it's just like there's so much thrown at you that your brain's like. The first time I watched Razorback, it felt like my brain was like being overloaded.
It's kind of odd because it's kind of, I would argue, immersive.
Oh yeah,
Because like it's such a believable world.
well, it's so lived in.
Yeah, because like it just like you said, like in the background there's just people doing random shit, but they're just doing shit that like normal people in this like
all the environments are like there's like all sorts of decorations and like little doodads and
I'm sorry, that fucking dream sequence is like one of the most metal things I've ever seen in my entire life.
A dream sequence is a director going like
you could put that to a prog like metal album like and like
put some yes over it.
Yeah, like put it like you could literally like put some progressive rock to it and it would be perfect.
I was gonna say you could just put some fucking Fear Factory over the whole ending of that movie.
Yeah.
Just put Demanufactured by Fear Factory over the whole ending, and it literally looks like a death metal video.
It would,
because it's just, and again, there's no reason for any of that to look.
And I'm sorry, I like movies that are that metal. Like when you can literally like slap like Dream Theater or fucking like Gojira at the end of it, like it'd just be fucking incredible.
Well, for me, it's like I just love that it's like because there's so like. Obviously, I do love the the script and all that for Razorback, obviously.
Yeah.
But that's only half the movie.
Right, exactly.
Like I think people sometimes miss out when they're watching movies like of just how much extra visuals add. Cuz you could take that script to Razorback and make a very simple looking movie, Just a simple little creature feature, and it would be fun. I'm not saying it wouldn't be. I'm not saying it'd be a bad movie. It'd be a fun movie, but those visuals add such a level of insanity. Like you could watch the movie. I'm not joking. You could put on Razorback and turn the sound off.
Yeah, it's just a feast for the eyes,
and you could just literally, it's like a cake.
Like I said, I don't do this a lot. I've watched it again.
Yeah.
Since we watched it. I love it that much.
It's beautiful. And it's one of those movies that like I'm also very glad because I watched it before the podcast and now Will understands.
Dude, it's fucking incredible. And I hope people on this podcast have watched it because you need to see it if you're a horror fan.
If you just I mean, like I said, we both have said this. One of the best looking, most unique horror movies ever. Like that is
hands down. And
we've watched hundreds of horror movies. I'm not just looking at this podcast. Like we had pathetic little lives before this podcast of watching horror movies all day. And
that's literally like all I watched, dude.
Yeah. And like with all the possibly thousands of horror movies we've watched, trust me, that's up there.
Yep, exactly. So go watch Razorback. It wholeheartedly deserves best of the best.
Yes.
That's why I barred Friday the 13th final chapter.
Because it's almost unfair.
Because it is unfair because this movie is incredible, but Razorback deserves that spot.
Yeah, it deserves Razorback deserved the extra gush.
Yes, and it deserves like recognition.
And I cannot believe you picked the same one as me, you fucker.
I know, we always fucking do that.
Because I was like thinking,
what do you think I was gonna fucking pick?
I don't know anything else than Razorback. I was like, as soon as you said Razorback, I'm like, I cannot fucking believe you.
God damn it, we do that so fucking often.
Should have known though. Should have known. God damn it.
It's just so fucking good. I can't. Like, yeah, there's like a lot of really fucking like Impulse was fucking awesome.
Soul Survivor. Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yeah, like there's a lot of fucking good shit, and then like, but
Razorback is.
I haven't gone back and watched any of the other movies. I've gone back and watched Razorback
because you just had to experience it again.
Yeah,
it's just like a thing. It's an experience.
Like the Mutilator, a cozy slasher movie.
Amazing movie.
It's great. But again,
we'll see.
It's
there's
not
like,
Razorback.
It's like you have Black Devil Doll from Hell, which is like it's like a negative brain poison, right? It's a negative cloud on your brain. But then the opposite, you have Razorback, which is like a positive brain worm, because that is the kind of movie that I know when you watch it, your brain is like it is like a sensory overload.
Yeah.
It's like heroin. And then after you watch it, your brain's like, sir, please, again, give me that again.
And I did that. I had to listen to it.
You had to do it.
But yeah, so I mean, that's like 1984. It's been a great, actually a pretty great year. That we've only had a few stinkers in there. We had one of the worst movies we've ever watched in there too. Like we had an all-timer. I mean,
congratulations.
That's gotten to that echelon where like, what is it? 5 movies are in that right now. Is Curse of the Headless Horseman,
Savage Water,
The Lucifer Complex.
So 4, because I can't think of any others that join that special group.
It is special. It is a special group. I can't think. Yeah, I think it is just 4 right now.
It's the 4,
like all
4 horsemen.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Because I made that. Yeah, we made that joke. It was the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. You have fucking Headless Horseman, the Lucifer Complex, and fucking Savage Water and Black Devil Doll from Hell. Like literally, like no joke, worst movies. I'm sure you would agree. Worst movies I have ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, the brain poison is real for
like
these.
Lowest of the fucking low. Like never.
And it's impressive.
And I think Black Devil Doll from Hell, honestly, is one of those where it's like it will be burned into my fucking like I said, it's a fucking curse.
No, I told you that. I'm sorry. As soon as she starts fucking the doll,
it's a curse.
It was over. It was game over for my brain.
It's a fucking curse on your life, and you never want to fucking have it.
I just don't want to know. I'm not joking. If I met the director of that movie, like if someone came up to me in a bar and was like, "Hey, I directed Black Devil Doll from Hell," I would my involuntary body reflex would be to fucking punch them in the dick. Like I would literally do that because I just like. I'm sorry. As soon as she started fucking it, it was over. It was game. My brain was done for.
It's just, yeah. I think it's like probably number 1 on that list.
100%. And it's funny
because
it's
worse than Savage Water. Like
I don't know about that. No, nothing tops Savage Water. Because Savage Water, the thing about Savage Water is that like it was just unspeakably boring too. And like the one thing,
that's true.
Well, the one thing I can say about Black Devil Doll from Hell is that things happened. I'm not in any way, shape, or form defending the things that happened because they are horrifying, and you know, I mean, after watching
that's a fair point. That is a fair point.
But things happened.
That is a fair point because Savage Water and fucking nothing happened.
Nothing.
Other
than the stupidest nonsense ever, and a woman getting its head pissed on.
I think Savage Water will go down in history and being literally the worst one. I think it's like number 1 on that list.
Well, so far as we've said, it's the worst ever for the podcast. Like nothing's actually, but I'm not joking. Black Devil Doll from Hell came very close. It came uncomfortably close.
I would rather eat glass than watch that movie again.
Yeah, I would. The only thing, you know what I would love to do is this will obviously never happen because why would anybody do this themselves? But I would love to get an unsuspecting group of people, just unsuspecting, big group of people, and just put on Black Devil Doll from Hell.
If we ever do like a live event, what we should do
is play this.
Is play Black. Say we're gonna play a different movie, right? So say we're gonna play like one of our best of the best, right? So like, we're
Razorback.
We're showcasing this movie or whatever, and then literally just fucking play Black Devil Doll from Hell for the entire audience.
No, I would make a game out of it, I will get a group of people, okay, get them in a room, put on Black Devil Doll from Hell, and say you have to watch this whole movie, or else, and the or else is like you have to eat an entire box of edibles. Or drink a whole fucking bottle of like the strongest liquor on the planet. Like That's it. You have to watch this movie. And then I will turn off the lights, and I will go in the back, and I will
count.
And I will just sit there
And see how
with my hands behind my head, and just sit there like an evil supervillain and watch these people. And then I will watch their faces when it gets to the fucking scene. And I just know people will break.
I would love to film a room of people watching that scene.
I would also want to film that.
I want to see people's react, like
because
general audience's reaction to that.
No, because you know why? Because I want to feel justice, because we were strong enough to not turn it off. And I want to see the normies do it. Because I know...
Are you brave enough?
I know the normies will watch that, and chances are they'll turn it off in 5 minutes. The rest of them, they'll turn it off in 10. And then maybe some brave soul will make it to the fucking scene.
And then turn it off.
And then yeet themselves out of it as soon as the doll starts fucking licking her poontang.
You know what? We watched the whole fucking
thing. I watched the whole thing, you cowards. So that's why. It's like a form of... It's like trauma, you know?
It really,
you know what happens?
It really is. We trauma bonded.
You know what happens to people who get traumatized? They inflict their trauma on others, and I want to inflict...
We're going to project our trauma onto other people.
Yeah, I want to inflict what I went through, goddammit.
Oh, God.
That's how much hate I have because of this stupid fucking movie.
Yeah, holy shit.
Because, like, other movies, I'm like, oh, yeah, watch Furious. You know, it's fun. I want, you know... But, yeah, Black Devil Doll, like I said, group of people... Locked room, no lights, and just me in the back.
Hell
like a
yeah.
super villain.
But you'd have to watch it again.
No, I'm just going to keep my eyes on them. It's like that level of, like, pain.
Just face away from the camera. Just face away from the screen.
Yeah. And there's, like, a button you have to press if you're tapping out. Then I give you your box of edibles.
I guarantee people would not make it.
Dude, no way. You could literally... probably have like a rotten fucking piece of steak in front of them and be like, you have to watch this whole movie or eat the rotten meat. And there are people who will fucking eat the rotten meat. Guaranteed.
Now it can be like, yeah, man, I've been through hell. I've seen a lot. I've seen Black Devil Doll from hell.
Well, you know, my dad told me he was going to get cigarettes and milk, and then he left me when I was a kid. Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you think that's bad?
You think you're tough?
I've sat through this and just played this. Play the sex scene. Play the sex scene.
No.
Black Devil Doll.
Well, they'll watch the opening credits, which is like 5 minutes long, of just the same notes on the Casio keyboard, and they'll just be like, "I can't do this. Turn it off. Please stop." See what happens?
See what happens when we start talking.
See what happens when you traumatize people?
We go on a tangent about it every time we talk about it.
All right, I'm done.
All right, me too. That was 1984. Thanks for listening. On to 1985. It's going to be a good year. I think
it's going to be great.
It's going to be awesome. We'll have some stinkers in there, but we'll have some winners too.
I will make sure we have some stinkers.
Yeah, we always do. So
I want pain.
Get prepared for that. Please, if you can, keep sending in recommendations. We're doing it every 5 episodes.
Yes.
So we are going to continue that. So if you want us to watch a movie and you want us to review it, please send it in.
And if it is for a year, like after, it will also be added on.
Yeah. We're not going to watch like in the future, like.
But we will get to it.
We will get to it.
Trust me.
Once we get to that year that you recommended it. So, Not to worry. We are hearing you. We are listening to you. And thank you for listening to us. And we hope you continue.
Likewise.
For They Mostly Come Out at Night. This has been Will.
This has been Alex.
We will talk to you all later.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my God. Why do we have to fucking talk about that goddamn movie again?
Oh, this puppet. This puppet.
Give me that devil dog dick.